Alright guys, so in this video we're gonna cover an absolute gem, which is a powerhouse of technology, innovation and disruption, also in the AI space. So you don't want to miss on this one. So stay tuned until the end because I'm gonna reveal my price prediction and also why I'm very bullish on this project. So let's dive in. So the project that we are going to cover today is QUBIC. So this project has been in the works, and even the idea of the project has been in the works for many years. So it is not a fly-by-night type of situation. It is a solid project that has some fundamentals that can definitely disrupt the entire blockchain industry. Okay, so first of all, what is QUBIC? So QUBIC is the first ever useful proof of work layer 1 blockchain. Okay, now what does that mean? So when you have a standard proof of work blockchain, right, you need computational power to run the consensus algorithm in order to solve those mathematical puzzles, in order to validate the transaction that then they get streamed into the ledger. Okay, now that requires a lot of computational power. So the innovation that QUBIC has brought into the space is that, okay, like we have all this computational power, but why don't we use a portion of it that gets unused towards the layer 2 of the project, which is focused on AI, right? So if you think about it, it's genius because that computational power will go to waste, but instead it gets used on the layer 2 of the blockchain, which is AI Guardar. And we're gonna cover that in quite a few details right now. So let's dive in about QUBIC, right? So QUBIC is an innovative, a useful proof of work crypto platform that is definitely changing the game, right? So the name of QUBIC comes from the acronym of QBC, right, which stands for quorum-based computation, which is the algorithm, the consensus algorithm that runs QUBIC. Okay, now like I was mentioning earlier, the idea of QUBIC came many years ago, almost like closely after the inception of Bitcoin. And the initial idea, right, came in 2012, all right, which is absolutely way ahead of the times at that point. And there is actually a Bitcoin talk forum where it goes like over the idea of QUBIC, right? The founder come from beyond. Literally ideated the entire project many years ago, and then through the development, through the refinement, then QUBIC came to light, right? But if you actually go to the bitcointalk.org forum, you'll see him like explaining the idea of QUBIC, right? So, and these projects, like, they don't come along very often, right? So that's why I'm very bullish on QUBIC. I'm very bullish on the innovation it is bringing to the space, and also the amazing use cases that we're gonna cover in just a second here, okay? But let's talk about a little bit about the metrics, right? So at the moment, the community of QUBIC is growing, is huge, but it's also very underground, right? There's about like 50,000 members of the community. There's about 20,000+ into the Discord group, and then another 35,000 in the Twitter, and also so many other members that are outside, and the community is growing, and it's a community that is based on innovation, and they really see things on a different perspective, and not just like, like all those projects they launched like a couple months ago. They don't have a working product. It's so different, right? So also the mining community has come towards QUBIC because, like, miners, yes, of course, they are in the business of mining coins and then make a profit out of it. But like they also see the power of the network and what it's bringing to the table. Okay. So also the project didn't have any funds, right? No VCs, no pre-mine, nothing like that. It's a fair launch project. And the mainnet has been live since April of 2022. Okay. Now, also because like QUBIC, it is a layer 1 blockchain, right? You can build smart contract on top of QUBIC, right? Now, the difference about the smart contracts of QUBIC is that they go through a vetting process, right? Where, you have the dev team or the development team that submits a proposal, right, to the network. And then if the network, right, decides that that smart contract is a valid idea that, brings something of value to the network, then goes through what is called an IPO stage, where the top validators of the network, which are called the computers, they're gonna trying to participate and have shares into the smart contract, right? And then after that smart contract and those shares have been locked into the smart contract, right? Then the smart contract, if approved, will go live. But the kicker here is that only, right, the legitimate and useful smart contracts are added to the network, right? And also on top of that, once there is that IPO, then the fees, right, there are the fees that are generated by the smart contract, and also a portion of the shares that have been locked into the smart contract, they're gonna get burned, which is gonna reduce the circulating supply. Okay, so that's a unique thing about QUBIC that I'm very, very excited about, and how like the entire smart contract is being handled. Okay, then the second thing is the consensus algorithm, right? So which is the Quorum Protocol. So the Quorum Protocol operates with 676 computers, right? Which are the ones that are handling the transactions, right? They're executing the smart contract and securing the blockchain, and also handling the Oracle machines, right? So the consensus has a finality, right? That reached 0.2 seconds, right? Sub-second finality. And on mainnet, he achieved the 40 million transactions per second, which, if you think about it, is actually insane. 40 million transactions per second, which is insanely fast. So on top of like having this innovative consensus algorithm, but also there is this speed of execution that is very, very unique on QUBIC, and it's something that separates QUBIC from all the other blockchains out there. Okay, now the other component about QUBIC, which makes it like a powerhouse of technology, is that he has Oracle's machines that are built in the network, right? So the oracles are basically the connections between the real world data to the blockchain, because of course the blockchain can integrate, doesn't know what's going on the outside world, right? So the oracles are bringing that data and then they get streamed into the blockchain so they can communicate, right? So for example, like you were saying here, the Oracle machines will be used to make QUBIC smart contracts even smarter by resolving events for trustworthy data such as stock prices, sports scores, sensor reading, and much more, right? Now, why is this useful? Because like to make the smart contract relevant and to make them even more intelligent, right? They need some sort of outside world data, right? And especially that comes into play with the layer 2 of QUBIC, which is AI-Guard, right? So AI-Guard is the layer 2 of QUBIC and is the software that runs on top of QUBIC, right? to create basically the AI power of the network. Now, like we were saying earlier, proof of work, right, generates computational power and then gets redirected to the layer 2 so that that computational power can be used to run AI without going into waste. Okay, so if you think about it, this is just so genius, and it brings such a new wave of technology, because like you're mixing the best of blockchain to AI. And we all know that AI is the biggest narrative of this bull run. And that's why also I'm very, very bullish on QUBIC, because like AI has never seen a bull run before. And in my opinion, will be the one that will really, really give the best like access, the best return on investment. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is my opinion only. Do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. And I'm just like a guy that's talking here on YouTube, right? So also another thing that I am very excited about QUBIC is that there's no fees for the users to use the blockchain, right? So we all used, I mean, like if you've used like Ethereum, you've used any other blockchain, there is some fees that are associated to that, right? Now, if you think about Ethereum, it's a very, very expensive like blockchain to operate, right? And also for the user, even like when it was the top of the bull run, the fees were just out of range for many people, that they were even discouraging some people to actually trade or use a blockchain because it was just out of reach, like hundreds of dollars on fees. What QUBIC does, which is very innovative, is say, okay, let's have the user not pay any fees, but we're gonna have the people who run the smart contracts pays the fee for them, which is actually genius, because like, okay, if I have a smart contract, right, I somewhat like offer a service or have an idea that I want some users to participate on, because otherwise, like, what do you even have a smart contract for, right? Now, what's going to happen is that the owners of the smart contract will actually pay the fees, and those fees, right, that are generated by the network, they're also going to get burned, because like once the smart contract uses them, then they're going to get burned, which in turn they're going to reduce the circulating supply. Okay, so that's why I am super excited about QUBIC, about all these features that, you know, makes the project stand out. It makes the project so unique. Okay, now let's talk about the tokenomics, because there's been a lot of confusion out there on what are the tokenomics of QUBIC and how it is structured. Okay, so QUBIC, right, has a way of emitting tokens on the network in a very specific way, right? There are a maximum, okay, of 1,000 epochs in the lifespan of the emission of QUBIC. Okay, so what does that mean? So there's going to be a maximum of 1,000 weeks, okay, where the emission of QUBIC can take place, right? Which is going to be in the span of about 20 years. Now, every Wednesday, right, when the epochs gets changed to the new one, there's 1 trillion tokens that are gonna get emitted in order to pay the miners to run the network. Okay, now the thing is that, like with the smart contracts, they're burning a lot of QUBIC. There is a very aggressive mechanism, and with the adoption of the blockchain, all those fees, all those burns are gonna get higher and higher and higher, and therefore it will reach a point where QUBIC is gonna be fully deflationary, right? So there was a smart contract that launched last month, and during the IPO phase, it burned over 1 trillion token, right? So, which is over 1% of the supply. So if you think about it, just one smart contract with one IPO burned that many tokens. And if you think about it, that smart contract, then once it's gonna get running, it's gonna burn more and more and more tokens, okay? So that's why there's a lot of confusion out there. People say like, oh, it is inflationary. Yes, it is inflationary to a certain extent, but it has a very aggressive mechanism that burns like QUBICs on a consistent basis, right? So this is very, very something that I'm very excited about. It's with the demand that is going to come towards QUBIC, this is going to be absolutely amazing. So now, where do you actually get QUBIC, right? So QUBIC can get you can get QUBIC in different exchanges. One is SafeTrade, the other one is TradeOrg, the other one is Bitcoin and 7Seas. Now, there is an upcoming exchange listing, which is going to be a top 20 exchange. And once that is going to take place, QUBIC, in my opinion, is going to fly because like the fundamentals, what it's been built behind it, and the community is going to really, my opinion, again, this is not financial advice, is going to make QUBIC skyrocket, okay? Also, like the founder, Sergey Ivanenko, it's been involved in crypto and in the blockchain industry for many, many years, right? It is a true innovator. It is the first creator of the proof of stake protocol, right? It was the first one that founded the first very ICO project, and he was the co-founder of NXT and IOTA. Well, actually was the founder of NXT and IOTA. Also, one thing that is worth mentioning is that both projects that we founded, right, they have ranked number 1 and number 3 in the best ROI coins in the entire history of crypto, okay? So his previous work definitely speaks for himself. And it also was the first one that created the DAG protocol. So it is a genius, there's a genius mind behind QUBIC, and that definitely has attracted a lot of intelligent people to work alongside him to improve and grow the network, okay? So what is the current market cap of QUBIC, right? So currently, here on CoinGecko is not updated, but the current market cap of QUBIC is over $200 million, okay? Now, with the magnitude of this project, this is just the beginning, okay? It was actually launched in August. It was launched in August on this exchange called SafeTrade, okay? Since then, if you actually have to take a look at a little bit of a price analysis over here, so if you have to look at price analysis over here, so it launched at the beginning of August, right? Then he had a healthy retracement over here, and then he went into a 2 months of accumulation period, okay? Before literally making almost a 15x out of that accumulation period, right? So if you actually see from the bottom here, which it was about like $350 per billion, he made about a 16x actually since the absolute bottom, right? Now, in terms of like technical analysis over here, like it's been, it had this huge, of course, like run on the upside. Now it's in this retracement side, which you can argue that here we could be into this 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 pattern over here, descending triangle over here, or this head and shoulders. But to me, like, all of this is absolutely irrelevant based on the magnitude of the project and where the project is going. I do believe that the project is extremely undervalued. It's still flying under the radar. It's only on a few exchanges where a lot of people really don't, for some reason, they're not trusting these exchanges, which is absolutely BS to me, because I've used them, never had a problem. And you know, it's just their perspective, right? So again, like, in terms of technical analysis over here, like, still on this descending triangle here, and then if you can see here, maybe you can argue they could do this this type of pattern and then shoot up. But again, I'm not also a huge believer of trend lines. I am more a fundamental type of I have a more fundamental type of approach for these projects, because you also gotta understand, like, with a project like this, right, you gotta think long term, man. You can't just be focusing on the minutia here in the short term, right? So this is a project that is so innovative, so unique. It has AI built on top of the protocol. It's just a no-brainer, right? And to me, like, even if it's going to have some more retracements, I personally gonna start to accumulate even more. You know, I bought throughout the bottom, I bought here, and I believe that it's a perfect, if you haven't had an exposure to QUBIC, again, this is not financial advice, but there's no better time to get into a project like this, because, like, once it's gonna get listed in more exchanges, definitely it's gonna skyrocket, and we'll see that, you know, the chart is definitely gonna look something like this, right? And then it's just a no-brainer to me with what it's been built. Now let's take a look also at this really cool video about QUBIC and how it operates, which I believe it's so unique in terms of, like, how the actual blockchain works visually. So I wanted to show it to you so that you can actually realize how powerful and how fast everything goes into the blockchain. So let me show it to you. Look at this video. There's actually this video where explain how QUBIC works, right? So there's a working live visualization of QUBIC. And you can see how the transactions and the blockchain operates, and how fast all the transactions are getting streamed. So you see, once it's green, then means that the quorum reached the agreement to validate the tick, because actually QUBIC is not a standard blockchain, it's a tick chain. See how fast those transactions get propagated. I mean, this is a state-of-the-art technology. I'm super bullish on QUBIC. Super exciting. So there you go. There you have QUBIC, and I do believe that QUBIC is still extremely undervalued. And then I definitely do recommend, like, definitely give them a follow on Twitter, and also join the Discord group, because you can get updated with all the latest developments and what's going on with the project. All right. So now let me know in the comments below, what are you excited most about QUBIC? what is the best feature and quality of QUBICs that you're most excited about. I personally am excited about the layer 2 AI solution that AI Guard is going to provide, but also like the innovation and the speed of execution that QUBIC has compared to any other blockchains out there. So let me know in the comments below what do you think about QUBIC, and make sure that if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next. Bye.